Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. And today I have a very interesting topic: your attachment style, your mother, and your success. And how are they all connected? And I want to decipher, go deeper into these topics and help you understand, the depth and the intricacies, and the things that we avoid and the things that are so simple that can actually help us define and understand our own selves to the extent that we become empowered for our own success, and we can do things, be in a certain way, and command that energy to basically manifest what we want. Yeah. So, one of the most overlooked truths in personal growth is this: your relationship with your mother. And how that is not just about love or conflict, it's about how you learn to exist in the world. Yes. Yeah. And by the way, this is a disclaimer for anyone, who, or any of you who don't have a good relationship with your mother. This is not to say that you have to go and mend it today, right? Some relationships, some dynamics are not, meant for you to actually do anything about it, or for you to actually go and meet your mother, if it's triggering for you. This is about understanding how you are and how that energy of your mother has affected, certain aspects of your life, and how you yourself can heal it. And now, whether or not that will help mend your relationship with your real mother or not, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about healing that mother energy, which, by the way, all of us can do with whatever means we have, right? We don't really have to go and talk or face anyone to heal this aspect. Yeah. Okay, now that I've made that clear, let's move forward. So from the moment you were born, your nervous system began reading your mother, right, as the world. Yeah. So if she came when you cried, you learned that the world responds. If she didn't come, you learned that the world abandons. Yeah. If she came but shamed you, or again, if there was any verbal or physical abuse, that made you feel unsafe. Your body learned that the world is unpredictable, that safety is conditional. Yeah. And this early wiring of your nervous system, it doesn't just vanish with age. It lives in your attachment styles. And that attachment style is secretly running the show in your relationships, your money, your work, basically everything that you're doing in your adult life. Yeah. And even your ability to receive joy. Yeah. So let's start with the first attachment style, which is anxious attachment. Okay. This develops when the mother came but went. Maybe she was loving sometimes but distracted or absent other times. Maybe she physically showed up but emotionally she wasn't consistent. So as a child, this teaches you to work for love, to prove. You learn that if you just try harder, maybe you'll be loved. And this shows up in adulthood as overgiving in relationships, taking rejection personally, having a deep fear of being left alone. Yeah. And when it comes to work and success, this anxious attachment can make you hustle endlessly, will make you over deliver, and will never feel like you've done enough. You measure your worth by others' approval. You manifest opportunities but can't hold them because deep down you expect they will go away. Yeah, just like that mother who came and went, right? Or who came but didn't stay. Yeah. Now let's move on to the next type of attachment, avoidant attachment. Now this is the opposite. It forms when the mother didn't come when you called, right? She didn't come. Maybe she was absent, yeah. Maybe she was emotionally shut down. Or you learned very early that your needs wouldn't be met. So you stopped showing them or you stopped asking for them. Yeah? So what happens now when you grow up? As an adult, you pride yourself on independence. Yeah? Haven't you seen? I will do everything on my own. I don't need anyone. Yeah? I think I am personally a mix of a few attachment styles because I'm also, or at least I've kind of healed one type of attachment style for me, maybe the anxious attachment, and I'm kind of still working on the avoidant attachment for myself. Yeah. So again, coming back to avoidant attachment, this is basically when you pride yourself on independence, yeah, but secretly you long for deep connection. Yeah, you keep doing, but secretly it's not just that, you even say nobody thanks me, everybody is thankless. Yeah, and you may push people away when they get too close. Yeah, so I think that aspect also I've started to heal now for myself because I used to be like that, right? Constant runner from situations and never letting anybody get close to me and, dismiss feelings as weakness. This is another aspect of it, right? So never actually be able to feel fully. That's another thing that will manifest in your adulthood, okay? So you don't ask for help. Oh my God, this was like me, right? So you don't ask for help. Even when you're drowning, by the way, that's no sign of bravery, yeah? That's actually a lot of helplessness, yeah? That you're feeling so helpless, even then you're not asking for help. So you see how this attachment style is avoidant attachment because mother didn't come to help. So now I cannot ask for help because nobody will come, yeah? Because vulnerability feels dangerous. You see how this can affect your life? So now in your career, if you have this attachment style, it'll make you a lone wolf, right? You might self-sabotage collaborations. Yeah. You reject opportunities because you don't need them. Yeah. Or you avoid visibility. Yeah, because it feels like too much intimacy with the world. Because mother was not there to give you that intimacy when you wanted as a child. So now you don't want intimacy from anyone in the world. Yeah. And now we come to the third type, which is disorganized attachment. Okay. This is the sometimes mother came when I called her, sometimes she came and hurt me dynamic. That's the dynamic. So sometimes she was very good to me. Sometimes she was like, oh my God, my child, my love. And she would kiss me and hug me. And sometimes she became horrible. And she screamed at me. She slapped me. And I was like, what did I do? And I'm confused. Yeah. So the mother was the source of both comfort and fear. Yeah. Now, this is the most confusing for the nervous system because the person you turned to for safety was also the person who scared you. So, what happens in your adulthood then? It creates a push-pull pattern. You crave for love, but you fear it. You seek success, but you sabotage it. You move towards your dreams and then you bolt in the other direction. Yeah. So you might feel like there's a constant war inside. One part of you wants to open up, and the other part is terrified that you'll get hurt. You see how that works? Yeah. Now let's talk about how these attachment styles, how this turmoil within, how all of these emotions can be worked upon. Yeah, that's why, I mean, for me, whenever I'm talking about anything, there's always a solution. Yeah, and that's what Zarya Healings is all about, isn't it? So let me focus on two kinds of work, right, that people can do, that people can start understanding their attachment style, and also the kind of work that I do and why I suggest people, to focus on these aspects. So the first is your inner child. Yeah, because when I'm talking about this child of this young child, young version of you, who actually was going through all of these issues, whatever the attachment style who developed, I'm talking about that age between 0 to 5, 0 to 7, 0 to 10. Yeah, so that's the age. So of course there is a version of you, that inner child of you, right, who's 10 years old, who's 5 years old, who's 6 years old, 7 years old, whatever, or there can be many inner children during that age period, right? So what did that child go through? What happened? What's the attachment style? What's the trauma? All of that, right? That can be worked upon and that can be healed. Yeah. So attachment styles aren't destiny. And that's why I wanted to make this podcast, just to make you understand the impact our childhood has and how it can also be worked upon. These are just patterns, and all patterns can be healed. Yeah. So the key in inner child work, especially the mother work, right? Now, why mother work is important, you understand, because there is an attachment style. You know what? Another thing I want to focus on is, or I want to talk about, is when you're born, okay? When you're born, now whatever happened with your mother when you were in the womb for those 9 months, how she was, what are the emotions she went through, all of that, and when you were 3 4, from 0 to 3, 0 to 5, how your mother was, whether she was absent, she was not there, she was sick, she was very loving, whatever it is, right, it will impact you. Why? Because when you're born, you don't even consider your brain. I'm going to create another podcast around your brain and how that works and how that impacts you. But for now, let me just say that this child that's born does not have a fully developed brain. Okay, so for a long time, at least for a few first 2-3 years, the child is just the extension of the mother. So when I say that, it actually means that everything the mother is going through, the child is also going through. Yeah. So if the mother is feeling anxious, the child is feeling anxious. If the mother is happy, the child is happy. You see? And I know a lot of cultural aspects and all focus on, the mother should be this and mother should be that. And the child will be happy. But it does have an impact. And that's why mother work is very important. And not to say again, as I said, that you have to today pick up your phone and speak to your mother. It's more about that inner child that was traumatized then. Yeah, that was then, this is now, and we can kind of work on that and heal that, because it's about you. It's about that part of you that needs to be healed, right? So it's not about anything external now. Now it's that internal aspect that needs to be worked upon, because the mother energy, let's put it that way, the mother energy is actually the face of success in our lives, if you look at it that way. Yeah, all the love, all the success, everything that we are receiving is all kind of related to that mother energy and how much of that is within us. Yeah, if your mother represented safety, you'll let good things stay. If your mother represented inconsistency, you'll expect the rug to be pulled out from under you. If your mother represented fear or shame, you'll unconsciously recreate that dynamic with various people in your adulthood. Now that could be your bosses, your partners, your clients, even money. So mother work is where we go back to the original wound. You meet the child you once were, and you give that child, that inner child, that version of you, what she never got. So we give that inner child safety, we give that inner child love, we give that inner child presence and protection. Yeah, because your mother was your first experience of receiving. Now when you're in the womb, I've been saying this a lot of times in the last year or so. When you're in the womb, all you're doing is receiving, isn't it? And if that experience was inconsistent, unsafe, or conditional, then receiving anything in life now as an adult, money, love, recognition, will trigger old survival fears. That's why I focus on somatics, the body work, energy, all of that, because all of this is connected, folks. So my mother passed away, right, when I was 5. So of course there was a lot of mother wounds that I had, right, in terms of working on myself, in terms of healing those wounds, right? And so when I worked on it, it wasn't just about forgiving her or just about her presence. It was about rewiring my nervous system to believe that I am safe to receive, that I am worthy without performance, that I am allowed to rest, right? And it doesn't have to take years, folks. No. I've seen people transform in just 3 sessions, even. If you're committed, right? If you're committed, and if you're committed to doing the work, not just in the sessions, but during the session, in the middle of the sessions and after the sessions, if you're committed to doing the work, nothing can stop you. Yeah. That's why I always say that, are you committed to yourself? Because only when you're committed to yourself, you'll see the results quickly. Yeah. And actually, when I did that work, folks, my business changed, my relationships changed, and even my body completely transformed. Yeah. Because the moment success walks in, it feels like that mother walking into the room. Yeah. And when I say mother, folks, for a child, it's important for them to have the mother energy or mother around for safety. Because that's the child's brain is still developing. It doesn't understand anything else. So you see, having the mother, sometimes, you see a baby when the baby's brain has not developed yet. Imagine, right? And imagine that baby, whenever it goes to a stranger, it starts crying. And the moment it comes to the mother, it's happy. Yeah. So at that time, it doesn't understand anything else but energy. It's only getting that vibe, isn't it? So that vibe of a stranger is so alien, it feels unsafe. And the vibe of a mother is, supportive. Or a father also. But for now, I'm talking about the mother. Father is also very important, and it's a whole different energy. I will create another, podcast on that. Yeah. So, so when you heal your attachment with the mother, whether that's your biological mother, archetypical mother, or the divine mother, you stop confusing success with danger. So yeah, that's why I'm saying that it's the mother energy you need to work upon. It's not particularly your, physical mother. Yeah. And this work has, in my experience, been a little triggering for people, but it doesn't have to be, And that's why we kind of recommend a few sessions for you to kind of work on it fully, to understand, your attachment style, how it has impacted your life, because it'll be different for everyone. For some people, their relationships will get affected. For some people, work. For some people, money. For some people, health, right? And so it depends on your story. It depends on what blocks are showing up in your life. And accordingly, we work on it. We do the healing, we do the sessions, we do the mindset work. And then holistically, when we kind of do this work consistently, you'll see a change. You'll see the change. You'll see, your own thinking changing, I would say. Yeah. So if you have ever wondered why your relationships, feel like hard work, or you lose momentum when things start going well, a lot of people say कि the moment something good happens, uh, नजर लग जाती है, or something bad happens, just following the good thing, isn't it? Or sometimes you can't seem to fully receive the success. Other people just keep getting all the accolades, and I am always left out, right? You need to look at your attachment style. You need to look at that mother energy in your life. And again, please be very careful. It's not about blaming her, right? Because we all know, right, for people who are now mothers itself, it's sometimes hard to be 24/7 being available for your child, but that's what your child needs, that much attention. And that's not possible, right? Mother has to go out. Mother, even if there is no say lacks in that sense, the mother might step out, right? Or the mother might not look at you, look at the child when the child is crying, and that can also create a wound. So it's not about that physical mother, it's about freeing your own inner children. It's about freeing yourself. That's the process. Because when you heal that inner part of you, you don't just heal your relationships, you heal your capacity to receive, to feel safe in success, and to create a life that feels like home. And that's what the beauty is, folks, of this beautiful work. Yeah. So I just want to invite you all to start looking at this work, to understand the importance of this work, and to know that when you do, success will stop running from you. It will hold you, it will feed you, and it will stay with you, just like you always needed. Yeah. So thank you so much, folks, for listening to me, and do let me know what your attachment style is. And if you want to work further, if you want to go deeper, do DM me, get in touch with me, and we can get on a consult call. And wishing you all the success, all the beauty, all the love in the world. Signing off, Anisha Dutt from Zarya Healings.